Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Movie Chat, and we're going to be chatting about Talk to Me, which was released this year, 2023. And yeah, I'm really intrigued to see what everyone thought about this film. And just process my thoughts, because it's taken me like 24 hours, because I watched it yesterday, to like process what I think about this film. So yeah, let's see what everyone. And the brilliant Stephen, if he's here yet, I'll just send him an invite. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Hello.
Always my door.
Oh, that was proper spooky. Hi, Kat.
Hi, Shelley. Hi, Emma. How are you?
You
Hi,
okay?
Kat.
Oh, have we got Stephen?
Where's
Hello.
Stephen?
We can see the hand. We can see the hand, Stephen. We're scared.
The hand's coming to get us.
Sorry.
Hey.
And he doesn't look demonic.
Not right now.
Oh. Yeah, me and Stephen might have got the time difference wrong, so thank you, Stephen, for like jumping on. My fault.
Oh.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I gotta hurry up.
Still drinking my tea.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with time difference. I just don't know what's wrong with me. I should be better by now, but
I
I'm
am
not.
too.
Oh, yeah, so thanks for joining us. So tonight we're going to be chatting about Talk to Me, which I only watched yesterday. So Josh can't be with us tonight, so the brilliant Kat Ellis is stepping in. And if you don't know who Kat is, she's the author of these there's more, but these two that I've got to hand, amazing books. If you like creepy reads, do check them out. And yeah, they're so good. And obviously we've got Emma, who's with us, who's got some really creepy stories in these. Emma, they're creepy. I nearly didn't sleep.
Woohoo!
And our special guest is the brilliant Stephen from Creek Talk podcast, and Stephen recaps Dawson's Creek. What series are you on now, Stephen? Just remind me.
We're still in 5,
yeah.
but we're gonna be doing season 6 like in 2 weeks, so we're almost done the whole series.
Oh wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone quick as well. Like, so I remember when you were setting it up, it just seems to have flown by.
Yeah.
Very quick.
Wait, Shelley, I have to tell you, I can't see you.
Ah, no.
Oh, this is it.
Emma had this problem last time, and it seems to be the person I add in last on the chat can never see me. They just like hear my voice.
Yeah.
Like,
should I?
That's very strange.
I think it might do the same. You can try it, but I think it might do the same.
Well, it will, because I tried that and I still couldn't see Shelley.
I mean, it might be a blessing. Can you see everybody else?
Yeah, I can see everybody else.
We'll go with it.
So weird, isn't it? It's weird.
I don't know why it's doing it, but just know that you can hear my brummy voice and you are saved from seeing my face. Anyway.
Shelley.
But yeah, so we're going to be chatting about Talk to Me. Thank you to everyone who's joined. If you've got any comments, pop them up, and I'll try and read them out, because I'm sure there's a lot to talk about with this film. I think I've still got a headache from watching it. It was so intense. But essentially it's an Australian supernatural horror film directed by Danny and Michael, is it Philippou? Something like that.
Oh, I'm not sure.
And I think they were directors of some sort, and they do stuff on YouTube and things like that. So I think it was like their first kind of film, because I think Danny had written it along with somebody else. So yeah, so basically it's high schoolers dabble in the occult and soon begin to wish that they hadn't. So teenagers Hayley and Josh run a series of parties using a mysterious embalmed hand they light a candle, hold the hand and say, talk to me. And you will see a ghost. And then you say, I let you in, and then you'll get possessed by that ghost. You blow the candle out within 90 seconds, and then your body is freed of the ghost. But Mia, our main character, tries it out, thinking it's a strange prank, but then things start going wrong. Try not to give too much away initially, but it Talk to Me covers like grief, loneliness, consequences of messing with dark arts, all the things we love. And if you haven't watched the film and you're watching this chat, I do feel it's probably a film that's best watched like cold, that you don't know much about it. So that synopsis I gave doesn't really give too much away, but there will be major spoilers in our chat, so you can if you haven't seen it, come back, but if you have, yay. But I'm dying to see what you guys think of this film. I've been so excited today to chat to you. So enough of me babbling on. So was Talk to Me a first time watch for you, or have you seen it before, Emma?
I've never seen it. Yeah, first time. I actually, one of my colleagues at the bookshop was telling me about it, and I always forget. I don't mind spoilers because I always forget everything everybody's ever told me. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds good. And then I come to watch and I thought, what did they say about this movie? I can't remember. And so I went in completely cold. I knew there was a hand that you held and you see ghosts, but that's all I knew. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. How about you, Kat? Have you seen it before?
I had. I watched it maybe, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago when it first got added onto Netflix over here. But I had sort of been like half watching, half playing games on my phone. So I did need to watch it again to make sure I got all the details. But yeah, like Emma, when I first watched it, I didn't know any more than that little snippet you see in the trailer. You hold the hand, you talk to dead people. So, yeah. I mean, that was pretty much all I knew.
Yeah. How about you, Stephen? Had you seen it before, or first time watch?
No, last night was the first time I ever watched it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to watch it before, like a couple weeks ago. And when you asked me to do this, I was like, oh, perfect. I'll wait to watch it. But yeah, I didn't know much about it either. Just basically what everybody else is saying. The hand, and you see that hand everywhere. But yeah, I went in cold, which I thought was good.
Yeah. So obviously, as I mentioned in the spoiler warning, so again, spoiler warning, I do feel the film benefits from like a cold viewing and just knowing the basic premise. And I think the trailer did a really good job of just playing into that so you don't know very much, which is quite unusual nowadays, because normally a trailer nowadays gives quite a lot away, in my opinion. I always think too much. Too much, but I think they did a good job here of not giving too much away. So you only knew like a little bit about the film, so do you feel like you benefited watching the film not knowing much, Kat?
Well, I think I knew everything I needed to know going in. If they'd said any more, it would have felt like you were just saying, like there's no point really watching the film because you've already seen it. But I liked that the trailer didn't give that much away. So yeah, it did leave some surprises. So yeah, I was pleased I didn't know more.
Yeah. What about you, Stephen? Were you glad you didn't know more about it before you watched it?
Yeah, I feel the same way. When they do show so much in a trailer, and then you go watch the movie and you're like, I just saw this in the trailer. But they did go deeper into things, which I was interested in. But I was glad that I didn't know much about it. So it made it better to watch it, and I think everybody should watch a movie like that.
Yeah, I think so. I was saying to Kev, I think some of the best films I've ever seen, I've not known very much about, and then I've ended up really enjoying them. How about you, Emma? Were you glad that you didn't know much about it before you going in, or you said someone mentioned it at the bookshop?
Too. Yeah, I mean, but I'm not worried about spoilers because I know as soon as somebody's told me, and they don't tell me like the whole plot, they just tell me, generally what it's about. I know as soon as they've told me about it, my brain will just blank it. I don't know why that happens. Any movie someone tells me, oh yeah, and then like I won't watch it. I think it's because I won't watch it for months after they've told me.
Yeah.
And then, what was that one? Was it this one or that one? They said. But I don't watch trailers. Like I make a point of never watching trailers. So my husband watches them. He's like, "Oh God, I just want to show you this," and I'm like, I don't watch trailers. And he's like, "Emma, just watch it." It'll have to be like really pushed in order for me to watch it because I like to go in without like a book.
Yeah.
I wouldn't start reading the middle of the book before I started, on it. So I like to just have a little bit of an idea of what's going on, and then I didn't. I think you do need to go in without knowing.
Yeah.
And it makes it such a good experience, especially this type of movie.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm getting better at not watching trailers. I said to Kev the other day, no, don't show me that trailer because I just feel like it's just too much sometimes. So I'm getting a little bit better now at trying resisting watching the trailers. I just noticed in the comments, Miss Sparkly Fizz, I like that username, said, I know, I saw it on unlimited screening before it was properly released and it took me by surprise. I thought it was great and much better than I imagined. Yeah. And Sharon's put, I thought the film was fun, not scary, but I'm difficult to scare these days. Yes, Sharon, we know.
I can imagine.
She's put, I think I'm numb.
Fair enough.
And there was a comment for Kat as well. Kat, I just finished one of your books. I love your books.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Ollie's Books and Beads said my teenage daughter enjoyed it, I think, through the film. We watched it 2nd of October on Apple and went in blind. I think this is the best way this film. Oh, and Karen's put, love the extra festive jumper, Emma. Yeah, very festive. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, so cute. So talk to me kind of starts off like a mini movie in which so again, spoilers ahead, in which a teenager turns up to a drunken party to look for his brother. The brother is having what seems to be like a psychotic episode, and to the horror of the other partygoers, stabs his brother in the chest and then himself in the face. You should have seen my face when that happened because it's like very quick, caught me off guard. I did not expect that to happen, and it was like quite brutal. And I was like, oh, like literally through my fingers. So what were your thoughts on the opening scene? Did it draw you in straight away, Emma?
It did. It did. And especially for me, because obviously I'm not only British, but I'm a Kiwi as well. And I've lived over that side of the world. I lived 10 years in New Zealand and a year in Australia. So the teen, and I was 16 when my parents emigrated over there. So that teen party vibe is completely spot on for Australia and New Zealand. The strobe light, they always had some room with a strobe in it every time you went and crashed the party over there. And so it was just so authentic for me. I was like, wow, this is absolutely authentic. This is what it was like, when I was a teenager over there. So yeah, it felt, the opening was amazing. And that scene, like you say, you don't know, and I normally guess everything, like everything. You just don't know what's going to happen. When he stabs the brother, you kind of think, oh, maybe he's going to do something to the brother because he's not all there. Or to somebody because he's unhinged. And of course him saying, put your phones down. That wasn't a thing in the 90s when I was a teenager. So they're also, he's saying, put your phones down, stop filming him, like that. And then just bosh. And I was like, what? What just happened? And I was like really impressed with the opening.
How about you, Stephen? What did you think of that opening scene?
I was really creeped out when it's one of those scares that it just happens and you don't think it's going to happen. And so I was watching it with my partner's mom last night because she was over and she went like, she was like, like she didn't want to look at it. But I did the same thing because I was like, oh my God, like that was terrible. But it kind of made me feel like, oh, okay, so this is going to be like a really creepy movie because they started off that way. And it does just get progressively like worse. But Yeah, I liked it, and I have to agree with Emma with the whole party scene. I didn't grow up where you grew up, but it was the same, like you go to a house party, and when he said put the phones down, it kind of was like, oh my God, that's like a thing now. Like put your phones away. Like it's going to be all over the internet. You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
was interesting because I feel like the movie could have taken place in like the 80s or the 90s or now. That was the vibe I was getting from the whole thing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was interesting.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I didn't clock about the phone thing in that particular scene. Obviously later on, I did, but yeah, it's interesting because just naturally people do just get their phones out nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah. How about you, Kat? What did you think of the opening scenes?
Yeah, when I first saw it sort of going that way, I thought, oh, this is going to be like, you know, the opening to Scream, like a shock scene, which it was. But I also like the fact that the brother comes back in later on in the film, so it's not just like a throwaway. This is what has happened previously. So it does feed back into the story, which I really liked. But yeah,
I liked that.
It does give you that instant, like, this is how gory and violent it's going to be, and it stayed with it.
Yeah.
It's like Sharon's just put a glorious death at the start. And Ollie's books and beads put super gory. Yeah, I think I'm the same, like that. I wasn't expecting that to happen so quick, even though, you know, I should learn my lesson by now that, you know, these things are going to happen. But it was just like, it's just the way all of a sudden he just turns around straight, and I was like, oh, and then it was just so quick what happened. And yeah, I was like, oh, okay, this is going to terrify me tonight when I was watching it. Oh, so that was interesting. So throughout the film, obviously when a particular scene happens, which we'll touch upon in a little bit, obviously certain rules of the gatekeeping get forgotten. So each session should last no more than 90 seconds. Candle must be extinguished immediately, and it becomes like increasingly like a porous kind of wall between the living and the dead, and gets breached a lot. And I just thought that it didn't seem to rely on the usual jump scares, but introduces like a new way of scaring the audience, like with like a chilling effect. Do you agree with that? I don't know whether I'm making any sense at all, but it just seemed like a different, refreshing way of doing it. Just felt fresh to me. What do you think, Kat?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I liked it that when, you know, all the jump scares and stuff. I thought at one point, you know, where this is quite a way into it, where the little brother, what's his name, Riley, he's in hospital, and Mia sees him like on the other side, like kind of in a purgatory situation. And I was like, are they gonna like Insidious this film now? Is she gonna go over to the other side to get him back? And I'm glad it didn't go that way.
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of like leading into that. But yeah, I liked that it focused more on the reactions of the people who are experiencing the frightening things rather than showing us the monsters, basically.
Yeah, that's quite interesting actually, because it did go in a different directions to how you think it's going to go as you're watching the film, which just kept it quite fresh, didn't it? How about you, Emma? Did you find it like refreshing take, like different type of scares, different type of chills?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was original. I thought it was a real original concept, an original idea, of, you know, like not just like the seance or the Ouija board or anything like that. I thought it was, you know, really well done. It kind of made me think of like Bad Taste and Brain Dead, the Kiwi movies back in the day. They were comedy, but they were budget films. It felt indie, but it wasn't. Like, you knew it had a budget because it was so well done, but it felt like it was like an indie film. It didn't feel like it was a big blockbustery kind of thing. And I think that's where it felt fresh. You know, it felt like somebody'd got their mates together, and as Peter Jackson did in New Zealand before he did Lord of the Rings, he just got his mates together and they made films. My husband was part of the film industry over there growing up as a young Kiwi. So this felt like it was like a group of people that had got together and made this really cool movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it does have that fresh take on it.
How about you, Stephen? Did you think it was like fresh? Did it take a different direction to what you expected?
No, I thought it was very original. And so when I was watching it, I was like, wait, so they just have this hand and they see spirits and they go inside their bodies. But I was like, well, that's crazy. Like, that's such a weird thing that kids are doing at parties. Because I had to look it up and I was like, wait, is that really like the premise of the movie? But you just sort of have to like go along with it. It's just one of those movies that you're like, okay, so they're getting, possessed by demons and then, or a ghost, and they're seeing ghosts afterwards because something bad happened. It was very original, and I didn't like. I don't want to like get into like if I like loved it yet or not. I didn't like love the movie. But I liked it for what it was. And like Emma said, it did feel like very independent, but you can tell that there was a budget. I did appreciate it, though. I mean, everybody's been talking about the movie, so I was excited to watch it.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people talking about the film. And, so, yeah, I was intrigued to watch it. It's like you just said, Stephen, and Shaman's just said, possession as a drug. So basically the hand, they got obsessed with the hand. It was like a drug to them, like giving them a high. So I thought that was like an interesting take on that, like that type of like party style. They're like carrying it around in the backpack like a bong and stuff, just normal, oh yeah, I've got a hand in the backpack that can like possess,
a mummified hand.
can possess everybody. But yeah,
normal.
Yeah, just normal. And Kash put, it's a modern take on possession that feels grounded in reality. And yeah, that's so true. I think Kash has seen it about 3 times, she told me the other day. So I was like, oh, I'm quite excited to watch it. And Kasha also said they had me at knife through the head. So that opening scene, Kasha was in there.
I was in, hooked straight away.
Oh dear. Yeah, but
I agree.
I quite liked that the hand was like already like an established entity. It wasn't like, the kids found the hand and then they experimented with it. It was already established. It was like a TikTok trend going around about it, and it was not something that the characters find and mess with and discover what's going on. It was very much they knew what they were getting into, and I thought it was quite a great prop, almost like reaching back into like myths of like the monkey's paw, like with like the promise of like godlike power and careful what you wish for kind of vibes. So do you think the hand was a good plot device if you think about it as like a mythical thing? Is that the right word, Emma?
Yeah, I did. I thought, I thought it was original. I've never seen anyone like, apart from Buffy, where she's trying to get that mummy hand, and it keeps threatening her.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of with like a hand or anything that you'd hold. And I like that she tried to hold it a certain way, and they're like, no, you have to put your hand in it that way. Like there was little details that were thought out. You can't just hold it any old way. Put your hand right in it, shake its hand, basically. So yeah, I thought it was great, centered around this thing. We still don't know where it came from. We don't know where its origin is. They said they thought there was a real hand inside it. We didn't see the real hand inside it because they didn't smash it or anything. So yeah, I thought it was a great thing. And everyone's talking about the hand. That's brilliant for marketing.
I'm surprised they didn't smash it with the amount of times it got thrown around the room.
I know.
In that backpack. How about you, Kat? Did you think the hand was like a good plot device?
Yeah, I like the hand. I think a creepy hand is always a good thing. I mean, I was sort of reminded of Thing from the Addams Family when I was good creepy hand, I thought it was a good prop And you know, it's kind of an iconic image, isn't it, on the poster and stuff. It's
yeah, definitely, yeah, and something that you could like get for your shelves or something. Definitely.
I don't want one in my house, Sally. Stop. Don't get me that for Christmas.
Oh, you've ruined the surprise.
Take it back.
I got one with your name on it and everything. Oh, how about you, Stephen? Did you like the creepy hand?
I love creepy hand.
You like a creepy hand?
No, I thought it was a good way for, you know, a plot device or whatever, object for them to see the spirits. I have to tell you, so I remember seeing on Instagram the company, the production company, came out with a hand like that in the movie, and it's like a bong or something.
Oh,
And it's because it's so funny that you said that, because the hand was almost like a bong, like getting.
I didn't know that.
Put those two together, but now that you say it, maybe that's what they were thinking. Like that was their way of getting high in the movie. So that's so funny.
Yeah,
so
I like that. So, Stephen, would you touch the hand? Would you go there for the 90 seconds?
No, I would never do that. Sorry.
No.
I don't understand why they were so eager to keep doing it. Like in the one scene where they were just doing it over and over and over, I was like, this is insane. Like they're just doing it like it's so like
Stop now.
knock it off. Like something bad's gonna happen.
Yes. How about you, Kat? Would you touch the hand?
I mean, absolutely not. I would be definitely there at the party watching everyone else do it. And, you know, cheering them on.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't touch it myself, especially not, you know, if you're there, one of the people watching what happened to Daniel when he first did it, and he's there making out with the dog.
Yeah.
I'd be like, ugh.
Oh, that lives inside my head now, rent free.
Yeah.
That's the most traumatic bit.
Yeah.
No, the most traumatic bit was the toe sucking. I was like,
oh.
Oh yeah, what? I said, oh, I hope his feet were like so clean when he did that. It didn't look like a pathetic to me. I don't know. That was so gross.
I've got like a foot phobia, so that really did.
Yeah, I have. not a fan of feet.
Oh, so would you touch the hand, Emma? I think Emma would, you know.
Emma in her 40s would not, but teenage Emma would have gone, give it to me. Let's do it. Yeah, she would have. She totally would have gone. She would have gone, I'll do it. I'm not scared. No, but me now, I'd have been like, no.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
More sensible now we're older. But,
I think so.
Yeah. I'd like to think if I was younger, I might have. I'm a wimp.
You would have.
We all know. I'd probably like get strapped in the chair, they'd light the candle, and then I'd chicken out.
No, I want to get off the roller coaster.
I'm not sucking anyone's toes.
Oh my god.
Yes.
So gross.
Oh, yeah, so gross. I just saw someone put, cursed object. Yeah, the main character's mom died. I think that was her obsession. So I totally would have. So so maybe if you knew that who you were going to see and it was guaranteed, maybe would we change our minds and maybe do it? I think maybe that might change my mind. Yeah. As long as I was guaranteed to see that person.
Yeah. No, I get you there, Shelley. Yeah. I've always wanted to speak to my nan who died when I was 8, and I knew her as a child, but didn't really know her. I wanted to know her as an adult, know who she really was, because I've heard lots of stories about her. So yeah, that would sway me to want to hold on to see if I could see her and ask her some questions.
Yeah. And if Kat did it, Kat, you could see if the person who died in your house comes to you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to talk to them now.
No, I always bring this up. I'm always fascinated when Kat told me about that potentially. We don't know this for definite, do we, Kat?
Not 100%.
Potentially.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, for anybody who doesn't know that story, it's
Sorry.
a slightly grim thing. When we moved in, like the house had carpets in every single room apart from the bedroom. Like the carpets had been taken up, and we knew that the woman had died here, so we kind of figured that was why they'd taken the carpets up.
Oh, grim.
And then
Enjoy that.
Kat, and then I always bring it up, and Kat's like, "Oh, Shelley, don't keep bringing this up."
No, I don't mind.
Oh dear. And Sharon's put the poor broken kangaroo. Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cash has put, we do not judge people's fetishes. Let her enjoy her foot.
Oh, you can enjoy whatever you like. You know, I don't want to watch it.
It wasn't consensual, though. So, I mean, no, he wasn't about that.
He wasn't into that.
I mean, it did take him a while to wake up. It took him, like, I would have woke up instantly if someone was sucking on my toes.
I know, yeah.
Maybe the dog, you know, to quite like the dog, so maybe he was okay with that.
The dog.
I think you'd have kicked them, Shelley, wouldn't you?
I really would.
One breath on your toe.
What are you doing? Sharon's put, when she was young, she'd have been the hand dealer. I can see that.
Yes, she would have been. 100%.
And Cash has put, I can totally see that, Sharon, as well. Yes. Cash has put, I think the game was also a reflection on what we would do when being socially pressured, so wanting to belong and be accepted. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It was a lot about social acceptance as well. So one of those people who did feel kind of the pressure, who wanted to join in, was obviously Jade's little brother Riley. He tags along to one of the possession parties, and then all hell breaks loose in like a gory kind of eruption of violence that sees, I think was he 13? I think, maybe.
I think he was 13.
Yeah.
Much older than that.
So you see this 13-year-old smashing his face into every available surface. So the film, in my opinion, kind of held back on the violence until it was actually violent, like Riley's possession. And those scenes were like, to me, like I was so shocked at the violence in those scenes, just because it felt uncomfortable, obviously, knowing how young he was and the way that they did it. So do you think the moments of violence were like impactful as a viewer, and like it was intentionally held back to minimise the violence to make that impact? Emma?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it wasn't a roller coaster of violence, was it? It was pockets of quiet, and then this cut almost comes out of nowhere, doesn't it? Like bang, that's happened, bang, that's happened. My husband actually, he doesn't. He's, you know, always saw mono through everything. The gory violence doesn't bother him, but because the kid's the same age as our youngest, like 13. He was like, no, don't let him touch the hand. No. And then when he started bashing himself, he was like, oh my God, get the hand off him. He was like screaming at the screen. And I was like, it was so intense, wasn't it? But I think the worst thing for me is when that woman, the ghost woman, we were talking about the foot sucking, she was in the corner. This was a clever thing for me. She looked like a pile of washing, didn't she? And then she uncurled. You know, when you go to sleep and you're a kid and you know your creepy clown and things in the room that look like they might be an entity or some stranger in your room, and she uncurled like that. I think that was more than the gore than anything. That one thing frightened me, and I thought, I'm going to open my eyes in the middle of the night, look at some pile of washing I haven't put away, and I'm going to go, ah! You know, so I think the gore was shocking, but I think the creepy bits was the bit that scared me. Yeah,
definitely. How about you, Kat? Was the violence when it happened shocking to you, or was you expecting it?
I think after that initial scene, I knew there was going to be like big violence, but I mean, like you were saying before, it's not constant, is it? And it did have a big impact because they kind of used it sort of sparingly, but when they did, I found it pretty shocking. I mean, Sharon in the comments was saying before what a great actor Riley was. And yeah, I have to agree with that, because I thought he was just excellent. And like, I mean, it's horrific, but excellent the way that he did those scenes where he's just like bashing his own head in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And Ollie's Books and Bees just put the shower scene as well. Oh, just, yeah. Literally, and then when he starts licking the blood, and whole thing, it's just, that's what I mean. It's all like, it's just, for me, it just kept it like going along, and then all of a sudden there was just these like bits of violence that I had to literally look away. I couldn't look at the screen, and like Melina said, I had to have a little pause after the Riley scenes. How about you, Stephen? What did you think of like those scenes? Were they quite horrific to watch?
Yeah, I thought they were. I thought they really went there with the gore with this. I mean, you know, when they in the opening, when you see him stab himself in the face, it's not close up or anything. You just see it, so it's like shocking. And then the whole scene with Riley when he's you know, possessed, that made me cringe, and it made me. I felt it, and then when he went to grab his eyeball, I was like this. And then when he went to, I'm sorry, and then when he went to bang his head again against the fireplace, and the sister put her hand there to block it, I was like, oh no, I felt that. It was just. So I thought they did a really good job. Yeah, and then you could see her, she had the bandage on her hand, it was broken. But I thought they did a really good job with that. It was very effective to me.
Yeah, it was shocking, and it was just so intense as well. Like I literally, after I watched this film, I had a headache for the rest of the night, because it was just, it was so intense. But I do find that with, like, it was A24, isn't it? It's an A24 film, but a lot of A24 films are quite intense, like Midsummer. What else? Oh, Hereditary, but I haven't seen Hereditary yet, because everyone tells me that I need to prepare myself for that one. But I think I need to prepare myself for Midsummer, to be honest, because that gives me a headache as well. But and I loved Bodies. If no one's ever seen that, I loved that film. And just me and Kasha were talking about it the other night, and yeah, it's one of them you just got to go with it kind of films, and it's worth it. I think it's worth it.
Putting that on the list.
Yeah, it's really good. So I noticed as well, I just wondered what you guys thought about this. So Mia, the main character, only seemed to see like tortured entities, whereas everyone else, even though we don't see, you kind of get the impression that they're seeing nicer entities maybe, and being possessed by them. But why do we think Mia only saw like tortured souls, Kat?
I didn't get that. I didn't see anybody
it might be a me thing.
I mean, Mia saw what she thought was her mum, which I suppose would be kind of a nice one if it was really her. But like when Daniel did it, I mean, he didn't see a nice, you know, it wasn't somebody nice on the other side talking to him, was it? So yeah, I got the feeling, because they said at one point that the spirits they were talking to were all in limbo. So I kind of figured that they were all kind of in a semi-tortured state. Whether they're good or bad, they're all kind of like having a tough bit. But yeah, I don't remember seeing any like good spirits coming through. Maybe I missed those.
I was just thinking, like, they all seem to be having such a good time when they was doing it repeatedly, like Stephen said earlier, and like I just thought, oh, maybe they're not seeing the horrific entities that Mia's seeing, but maybe that was just my interpretation of it, which is quite clever, really, that it does that. Interesting. What do you think, Emma?
I actually agree with Kat. I thought they were all bad, but also I thought it was sort of like almost purgatory. That's where they were, you know, like that holding pattern before you're allowed to be let into heaven, or you're going down to hell. That's right, isn't it, purgatory?
Yeah.
I thought that might be where they were. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That but I wasn't too sure about, you know, the torturing bit, why they were torturing the boy. I couldn't understand why they'd chosen him, because they kept saying, you know, they're interested in you, and I didn't get why they were interested in him. That was never explained, unless one of you caught that.
Yeah, sorry, Emma. I wondered whether it was because they were like Mia's extended family because she didn't have a mom, so they were trying to target people that was surrounding Mia for some reason. But I don't know. That just because it was almost like her little brother, really, maybe, you know, to a certain degree. But yeah, I don't know. I was a bit confused.
Yeah, it wasn't explained.
Yeah, definitely. How about you, Stephen? What do you think?
I guess it's all subjective because I'm listening to you and I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense, maybe. But I do agree that they weren't all good spirits, unless during that time when they were all doing it like repeatedly. I don't know, but the whole thing with the brother, I just realized that when Mia went under and she said to him, they like you. She said it to him.
Yeah.
So that makes sense that they would that they like just kept him in their purgatory. Which I do agree. I think that they were in purgatory because at the end when you see Mia walking around, I feel like she was still because that can be for a minute and then I said, "Oh, she's in purgatory." But yeah, I don't think that any of them were actually really good. I didn't even think Mia's mom's ghost was good. I thought she was evil. I didn't think she was. Yeah, I thought it was just sort of like a demon.
Yeah. That's kind of what I thought. Oh, I forgot about the bit when they said to Riley. Well, when Mia says to Riley, "They like you." Yeah, I forgot about that. So interesting. Sharon's put usually the music indicates bad things are coming, but not in this. It stayed the same. Very clever. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. And then Cash has put my favourite was when she sees the hell Riley is stuck in, which I think Emma mentioned earlier, and it's all the bodies like in hell, and she says chef's kiss.
Yeah, that part was really gross. I didn't like that part because that creeped me out as much as it creeped out the character. Like when she came and she was just like, you know, she didn't want to go back under. Yeah, that part was gross.
Yeah,
I didn't like that part.
No,
I felt bad for him. I felt so bad for him.
Yeah. Ollie's Books and Beads put Hereditary will stay with you. See, this is why I'm putting off watching it. You've seen it, Stephen. Yeah.
Have you seen it, Kat? You should watch it. It stayed with me for a while.
Have you seen it, Kat?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. No.
Okay. It's not a Shelley film.
Oh,
okay. Have you seen it, Emma?
I have seen it years ago, but I don't know if it's for you.
I watched Hereditary the same way like I watched this. I went in cold. I didn't know anything about it. And it did. It's one of those movies where you just, I mean, it affected me when I watched it, so. See,
I felt a bit. I felt a bit like that with Midsummer. Like after I watched it, I needed to go and sit in the corner for about an hour just to process what had happened.
Sitting in a dark room, rocking back and forward.
Yeah. Preferably not in a bear suit, in like getting set fire. But yeah, that was intense, that was. So Melina's put, I thought it was because Riley was such a good soul and a super easy target. Yeah, so maybe because he was young, he was only 13.
Draining the life out of him.
Cash has put, we are getting a prequel, so I would like to see more lore about the hand.
Yeah, I would.
That would be quite interesting. Yeah. Kasha put, I did wonder if it was not a demon taking different shapes depending on the person and the purpose. So maybe it was like one demon taking different shapes.
Because didn't we have the dad? Didn't we have the dad, even though he wasn't dead, strangling her?
Yeah.
That was like, I was like, well, he can't be a ghost. He's not dead.
Yeah.
So what's that about?
Yeah.
You know? So he came in, didn't he? And he was strangling her, and then I knew that was going to happen. I was like, oh, God.
You can just see it. Yeah, you can see it.
You can see it
step by step
coming.
happening.
And that was intentional to see it coming as well. They did that on purpose. They didn't want you not to know. They wanted you to know that.
Yeah, that was a good scene, that was.
But he's not dead, right? So he's not a ghost. So what was he doing there?
Yeah, so it was definitely like a demon. It's got to have been. It's absolutely. So did you sympathise with any of the characters, Stephen? Oh, sorry, just as you take a drink.
No, I did feel kind of bad for Mia. I didn't really understand her whole story though. I kept trying to understand why she was like the kids didn't like her at first. They were like, "Why did you invite Mia to the party? She's like so clingy, and she was always with the other family." But I thought that they just sort of like took her in as sort of like a surrogate daughter because of her mom dying. But then they sort of like turned on her after Riley went into the hospital. And I said, well, it wasn't her fault. I mean, she's just sort of like, kind of tell him, like, just do it for 60 seconds, which I would have been pissed off if I was the sister.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's not like she didn't possess him, you know? I don't know. I felt like it was just peer pressure.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand a lot of her story. So that made it hard. But I did feel bad that everybody was sort of like against her sometimes. You know?
Yeah, no, definitely. How about you, Kat? Did you sympathise for any of the characters other than Riley? Because we all kind of felt Riley because we loved him.
Yeah, I mean Riley without any sort of clause there. Daniel, I felt kind of bad for as well. And, I mean, he was a bit of a sheep. He should just sort of like went along with things, didn't?
Yeah.
I didn't. I actually disagree about Mia. I think she was a very unsympathetic character. Like with the kangaroo, with the way she is with Jade, you know, sort of like almost flirting with her boyfriend in front of her and stuff like that. She's not very considerate of other people. And when Riley first does it, and Jade thinks that her mum is talking through Riley, she's the one that's like, no, don't take the hand off him, even when it went over the time. So I felt like it really was her fault that, you know, what happened to Riley after that, because she wouldn't let them take the hand off him. So I think I was quite glad what happened to her, to be honest. I didn't think she deserved to have any better outcome than that. And Jade too, she wasn't particularly nice to Riley, was she?
No.
And I mean, she had Crazy Frog as her ringtone, so she really deserved
she deserved everything.
That was really annoying, wasn't it? It was like, why would you have that? No modern teenager would have that as their ringtone. Come on, they get beat up.
The worst thing, bad things.
The worst thing was it was in my head all night then, so I was going around the house.
I missed that. Like, I don't even know what that is.
Do you not know what that is?
So, okay.
Oh no, go on, Google it.
I will share a video to you of Crazy Frog. So basically,
your life.
So you know,
was it? I know that.
Was it? It's called. The song's called Axel F, right? And it was out of Beverly Hills Cop. Is that right? I think. But what happened was in the 90s, I think it was, this Crazy Frog character.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yes, you're right.
I know too much about Crazy Frog. So this Crazy Frog character, someone created it on like a little motorbike thing, and he did his own interpretation of Axel F, like ding 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 ding,
and
ding, ding, ding,
ruined the song.
I'll have to Google it.
This must have been like a British thing.
Maybe, I don't remember.
I was in New Zealand at the time when that came out, I think. So it got as far as there. Why didn't it go to America?
I don't know.
I'll send it you.
Did not pay attention to it.
You were lucky.
We will educate you, Stephen, and then you will hate us forever.
Thank you.
It's so annoying. Sharon's put demons mimic the dead and the living. I think Mia was the principal tortured soul in this. Sharon said. Teenagers are reckless though. The way Mia pushes things is very teenage typical behaviour in my opinion. That was Ollie's Books and Beads said that. And also, since I have a house load of them, almost every weekend there's always one like that who's like a pusher. Interesting. I'm not sure who I sympathise for. I don't think I sympathise for any of the characters, apart from Riley, because obviously he just didn't deserve that. He deserved better. But then maybe that was like a good plot device that they did. So they made you not sympathise with anyone, so you really had sympathy for Riley. Maybe, I don't know. I like how this film is quite open to interpretation, and we all kind of think different things. It's really interesting. So I also love how the film was shot with like low key lighting and like a dark narrative tone, quick editing, especially like for the possession scenes, and the way that they used the camera placement on some scenes as well was just really interesting. And yeah, I just thought it was like very clever how they did it. So overall, how did the film make you feel? Like, did the way it was shot increase the feelings, or was it just the violence that gave you those feelings? Like, what did it make you feel, Stephen?
It made me very tense sometimes. I know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect sometimes. But overall, I just like I said, I didn't love the movie. It didn't make me feel like, I don't think I'd go watch it again. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't like absolutely love this movie. I didn't think it was that scary. I thought it was, I think there's a deeper meaning to it, which, we're talking about. And maybe like some of that just, when I watch a horror movie too, I just, like, I want to be like scared too. And some of the stuff I just didn't feel like was really that scary. But I don't know, maybe I'm just not somebody who I don't want to like get scared over like PTSD stuff. You know what I mean? I want to be scared by like the ghost in the corner. Like, that was creepy.
Yeah.
But all the other stuff with like her mom and stuff like that, I didn't find it didn't do anything for me. But I didn't hate it. I just didn't like, I don't know. I'm not walking away from this like really thinking about it,
Yeah, I think I've had to think about it more just to put some questions together for the chat, so it's really made me process the film. But yeah, I was like, how am I going to write questions? I can't think of anything. My mind was kind of blank after I watched it, because it was just I found it so intense to watch rather than scary. How about you, Kat? What did it make you feel? Did you like it? Would you watch it again?
Well, I have watched it twice now. So.
Oh yeah, cool.
I agree with Steve. I felt really tense, like gut-clenchingly tense watching the film. Not just because of the gory stuff, but it was really, really well done. I like the fact that it's 90 minutes, which is pretty short nowadays for a film. I like that they didn't sort of pack it out with unnecessary stuff. But yeah, I got really invested in the characters and the story. So yeah, I can't say that I disliked it at all. And I probably would want to have given it enough time to have forgotten some of the stuff. I probably will watch it again. I thought it brought something a bit different, which, because I watch so many horror films, you quite often find that it's a lot of the same stuff, a lot, over and over again, just slightly different characters or whatever. But with this one, I did like it. I felt like it was a different sort of storytelling style. I mean, I don't know if it's because it was, Australian, that it was reminding me a little bit of the Babadook in that kind of it being slightly more sort of psychological rather than having the monsters jumping out and stuff. So I thought it was good. I didn't love it. It's not like on my favorite films list, but I did think it was good, and I probably will watch it again.
No, definitely. How about you, Emma?
I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I honestly, and I don't know whether it was because for me it was familiar. So I think, like, for everyone else is saying it was very different. For me, I sunk straight into a familiar vibe. I could have been in that room with those teenagers, definitely at a party when I was that age. So it all felt very, very realistic to me. It was very Aussie, very realistic. I was like, whoa, okay, this is what Aussie horror is. And it is psychological. They do like that kind of psychological scare rather than the jump scare. Which I like. The creepy. Not Aussies are creepy. Sorry, Aussie, you're not creepy. They're filmmakers. When they make their horror, they do like to creep you out or gross you out. One of the two.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I found myself like, I can't say that I can't make up my mind on the film. Like, I don't know whether I would watch it again, but I probably would if there's going to be a sequel, prequel. Just I'd watch it again before watching that. But
I'd watch the prequel.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't. I think I liked it, but I don't know whether I'd watch it again because of the feeling that it gave me. Like I was really absorbed into watching it, and I couldn't. It was that intense. I couldn't take my eyes off watching it. And it afterwards, as I say, I had a headache, and because it was so intense, and I was just so in it, watching what was going on, and it was taking different turns. That I think the feeling it gave me, I'm not sure I'd go back. It's a bit like, as I said, Midsummer. I don't think I'd watch that again, but not because it was a bad film, but just the feeling that it gave me as a person. Like, I can just, it's like The Exorcist. Right, when I watched The Exorcist years ago when I was younger, I've never watched it again because of the feeling. Like, even just talking about it now, I feel physically sick talking about The Exorcist. It's like a feeling.
I don't watch that over and over either.
Yeah,
I can't watch that over and over either.
Yeah, so it was kind of like, I did enjoy it, but I'm not sure I enjoyed the feeling that it gave me. But that's the sign of a good horror, isn't it? That it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I agree with what Cash has just said. Cash has just said something about it being original. And I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. And Sharon's put, I thought it was fun. The deaths and possessions were great. Karen, Kasha has put, I think Mia never had healthy relationships with her mom being sick and her dad not being able to deal. She lacks some social skills. Yeah. And Melina agrees. That made her relationship with the best friend's family so important and tragic. Yeah, Cash has put, it was one of my favourites for 2023. At least a fresh idea and not another remake or franchise movie. Yeah, definitely. I am excited to see what that duo, I presume they're brothers, Danny and Michael, do, you know, if they're involved in the other two films that are coming out, or what they do for new horror. It'd be interesting to see. Melina's put, I agree, Shelley, you've described how I feel. Yeah, there was just something, I had to process it. That's why it just took me a while just to process everything that was going on. But yeah, the ending for me, I just want to see what you guys think just quick. So what's your interpretation on the ending? So I'm kind of on about before she's walking through the hospital. So all that whole, when she's got Riley kind of thing, like, did Riley's sister, push her into the road? Or, okay, Kat's nodding. So, yeah, so go on then, Kat. What happened at the end? Because I got a little bit confused and I thought I can't rewind this to watch it because I'm like that engrossed in it.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I kind of missed the first time I watched it. So I made a particular effort to watch it on the second go. So yeah, Jade, she was running and she saw Mia taking her brother in the wheelchair over to the freeway. And yeah, that was, well, my interpretation of it is that Jade went and pushed Mia into traffic because she's there sitting at the end with Riley sort of, you know, cradling him basically. So yeah, I think that's what happened. I don't think Mia threw herself into traffic.
Yeah, see, that's what I was a little unsure of. I thought, did she suddenly just think, no, I can't do this to him, and do it herself kind of thing? Or whether the sister, was it Jade, wasn't it, pushed her in? What do you think, Stephen? Do you think that's me and Kat have got it the right way?
I just assumed that she jumped herself, that she threw herself in the middle of the road, because I really thought she was going to push him. But I also thought it was interesting the end where or when she was in the middle of the road and they showed her laying there. It was sort of a mirror to the kangaroo in the beginning. So so it was very I don't know. I think she did throw herself though. I think she sacrificed herself because I think she wanted to be with her mom too, because you really thought that was her mom.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I don't know. I guess it is just up to
Yeah.
interpretation, but
That's when it's quite clever, really. I just think the more I'm hearing about it, the more I'm thinking what a clever film it really was. But I didn't pick up the kangaroo thing, that she was lying the same. Oh, that's interesting.
my mother-in-law actually said that, and I was like, "That's really
Ah,
interesting."
Yeah, my husband said that
I
too.
I was
didn't
like,
pick
"That's
that
great."
up. Oh, how about you, Em? What did you think of the ending? Did you like it?
I did. I did like the ending. I thought that would happen. I was like, I hope what I've written inside my head plays out on the screen, because that's what I would have written, and it did. And I was like,
I
yes.
like that.
But I think I don't think she jumped, and I don't think the sister pushed her. I think she stumbled. I think the sister ran into them full force and to grab the brother, and he fell out, and she stumbled into. I think that's what happened. I think that the full force. If you've ever run after, so I've run after a toddler before now, and a pram to stop them from getting hit by cars. If you've ever run after anyone or anything to grab it, yes, if she'd have slammed straight into them like that coming down that hill, she'd have she'd have stumbled as she grabbed the chair off of her. She would have stumbled in, I think. I don't think the sister would have done it intentionally. Or maybe she did, and we'll find out in the sequel. And then Kat will be right. But yeah, I don't know. I think she might have just stumbled, and that was when the sister was just trying to save her brother. Never mind her, because she's not really a family, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
but
sorry,
go on, Kat.
I think that's entirely possible that she did stumble, like you say. If Jade was just trying to get her brother and just sort of nudged her a little bit, so she stumbled. The reason I don't think Mia did jump is because she thought she was doing the right thing. She thought she was saving Riley, because the demon that was pretending to be her mum had said to her, "This is how you save him from purgatory." So I think she thought she was saving him, and so she didn't think she was doing a bad thing by trying to kill him. So, I don't know. Narrative.
But why didn't she stab him with the scissors? Why didn't she stab him with the scissors?
Who had Dad?
No, she
remember she had the scissors over the top of him.
Over Riley.
And she didn't do it. Why did she opt for the traffic, I wonder? That's not explained either, is it? Like, why did she pull the scissors out, go, no, I can't do that, and then put him in the wheelchair to run him into traffic? Surely that's worse, Mia. Surely you've already done one with the scissors in the neck. What's another one?
It was like, that's old. I gotta find a new way to kill him.
Need a new murder device.
Yeah.
But don't you think that's like that's just a good, the way they've written it is just so open to interpretation. So rather than it being like, oh, like we talk about sometimes, oh, that's a loophole, that's, oh dear, they didn't finish that. I think they've done it in certain things in certain ways for interpretation. So we're all thinking different things and
different ideas.
Clever, yeah, it's very, very clever.
I bet you if you read any article or interviews that the directors did or gave, they will probably say the same exact thing. I bet you. It's all up for interpretation. Because it's also open-ended. Even the end I was confused for a minute, and then I was like, oh, I get it. Because I was like, oh, so Riley's healed now, but she's still like all scarred up, and then it kind of took a second for me to realize what was happening. So, and the dad was alive at the end, so I was happy to see that he survived.
Yeah.
Ollie's Books and Beads put, I thought she slipped. Sharon said, I thought she realised the ghosts were lying and sacrificed herself, but she could have been pushed, so both could be right. Cash has put, the ending was genius. You bring the movie full circle, and at the same time you leave an open ending, franchise potential. Yeah, that's so true.
I agree.
And Ollie's Books and Bees put, I thought she was taking him away to save him and slipped. See, I just think it's clever. See, the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, it's quite clever and genius. But obviously that end shot when she's like walking towards that flame, I said to Kev straight away, I was like, oh wait, hang on, she's now going to be pulled through as the with someone else using the hand. So with that in mind, what would we like from a sequel? As like a final type question, what would we expect? I didn't know they was doing a prequel, but what would you expect from the sequel, Emma?
I'd like to see more of where they are in that torture place. So I would like to see why are they torturing young boys or whatever?
Yeah.
Why, what I'd like Mia to be venturing out in the underworld and maybe trying to stop people from doing that hand from her side.
Yeah.
And maybe some more of Jade. Because I did feel a little bit for Jade because, she did try to do the right thing by her brother, even though they argued with each other.
Yeah.
Typical siblings arguing. But when it comes down to the crunch, I'll protect you to the end. So I'd like to see, and I'd like the other two, the two that were that had got the hand. Was it Hannah? Oh, I can't remember what her name was. Haley?
Haley was it, I think?
Yeah. Those two, I'd like to see from those two and, what they're up to and whether they're getting into any other mischief or, maybe they'll band together and try and find the hand to destroy it. But, there's so much potential. There's so much scope.
Yeah. How about you, Stephen? What would you want from a sequel? Or maybe you might not want a sequel.
No, when we started and we were talking about the hand, I was like, I even thought to myself, it would be interesting if they did like a prequel to this movie. And then somebody mentioned it in the comments. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know where the hand came from and why it possesses people and, like where they go from there. I don't necessarily would be interested in the characters that were on in the first one, but to go back and understand like where all the lore came from and, I'd be interested in that. I like stuff like that too.
Yeah,
definitely. How about you, Kat?
I think I'm showing like how impatient and superficial I am because I don't really want to know where all the lore came from. I quite like that in this film they skipped over.
I quite liked that.
How long can you do this for without it being, too late and, all the candle stuff? I liked that they knew all that and we didn't have to go through the process of discovery, which is what you would get in a prequel.
Yeah.
Which I know most people probably would like to see, but I think I could skip over that quite happily. And in a sequel, though, I would love to see Mia going full villain, full Mia. Because I think she has that potential in her. I mean, she's ended up in purgatory rather than going somewhere better. So I think, embrace the dark side, Mia. So yeah, I'd like to see her as like the big bad villain in the sequel.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would. Cassius, but I hope the prequel reveals more of where the hand comes from and could end how it got to Mia's acquaintances. And then Ollie's Books and Bees put all the first scene prequel, so a bit more story about that first, before what happens at the very start happens. That would be quite interesting.
Whose hand is it?
Yeah. Whose hand is it?
Didn't they mention though in the movie that they thought it was from a medium, like or psychic? They thought the hand was from
who was that medium?
Yeah. And there was another hand, wasn't there? I thought that there were two hands. Or am I confusing?
Well, no, I'm guessing that the hand at the end when Mia gets pulled through is a different hand. Maybe one was the right hand and one was the
because
left.
they were speaking a different language.
Yeah. So I kind of took it that
maybe both hands are taken off the medium.
Yeah. Because I feel like they mentioned. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah, definitely. Oh, that would be interesting. maybe in the sequel they can reconnect the hands to someone's body because they're obviously missing their hands.
No, Shelley. Scary.
We want to see who this person is who likes the nibbling on the toes, don't we? That's what it is.
Give the demon bucket palm.
What I would like not to see in a sequel is toe sucking. Less toe sucking.
No more.
No dog snugging.
No dog snugging.
No dog snugging.
Oh no. know that either. That was so disgusting. He was like, delete. I was like, yeah, please delete that. I wouldn't want anybody to watch that.
Yeah, but the worst thing was in that scene was like the amount of slobber that was around the mouth.
Oh, it's so gross.
No, I kept thinking like that part and the part where she's sucking the toes and Riley licking the blood up on the shower floor. Like I kept wondering. I hope these young actors got paid a lot of money to do this. Or they just did it very creatively, and we don't know like exactly what they're doing, because I thought all of that was so disgusting.
Yeah.
That his face was definitely a prosthetic, wasn't it? It wasn't his. The dog wasn't actually licking his face. You could tell it wasn't his face.
It's
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
it's got
now I'm gonna watch
it wasn't his face.
Oh dear, yeah. When I went round to my mum's this morning and the dog tried to like lick my face, I was like, oh no, go away.
Stay back, devil dog.
Oh dear. Sharon's book, that's why I thought she killed herself. Purgatory is used for those type of deaths. And
That's true.
Ollie's Books and Beads has put all very intriguing about our interpretations of what we think for a sequel. And then Cash has put maybe in some mediums ritual to remain somewhat alive. So there are more hands. So there might be more than like 2 hands. Oh dear.
Oh no.
And Cash has put regular horror does not scare me, so I love when a movie can make me uncomfortable. Yeah, that's exactly it. And
uncomfortable, yeah.
I found it all seems to be the A24 horrors that make me feel slightly uncomfortable. There must be something that they do to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
She ignore me. Ollie's Books and Beads, but I'm so watching this again. Oh yeah.
Yes, Ollie.
Oh, Cassius with Shelley. I've seen this movie with the dog. It does not end well. Yes, exactly. Oh well, thanks for chatting, guys, because like you've made me feel like I've processed this film more, because I was really like this morning when I woke up I was like, I don't know what am I going to do with this chat tonight, because I don't know how to process my thoughts. I just couldn't get there, so I've really had to sit down for quite a while to think of like conversation points just to see. So I just, in the end, I went with what didn't I really understand about the film, just to see what you guys thought.
Great question.
So, yeah.
Great question,
thank
Shelley.
you. And thank you for joining us, Stephen. And do check out. Oh, thank you. And we always seem to join. You've always seemed to join the chats in November, because I realised last time I asked you it was in November as well. That was just a coincidence.
On my memories, and I was like,
yeah. We did
so
prom night, didn't we? I think
it
was. Yeah.
Yep.
I realised that was November as well. So, but thank you for joining us.
Sure.
And do check out Creek Talk podcast. It's brilliant. Stephen and Jamie are just hilarious and make me giggle lots.
Thank you.
Oh, and thank you, Kat, for stepping in for Josh, who couldn't be with us today.
Thanks, Kat.
We do miss you, Josh, but thank you, Kat. And as I said at the start, do check out Kat's brilliant books. If you like super creepy things, Kat is your author. And of course, as always, my beautiful bestie Emma. Oh, thanks, Emma. And do check out Emma's stories. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Don't imagine if someone watches his back and hears me going creepy, creepy, creepy.
That needs to be a sound on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, that's as annoying as Crazy Frog. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Yeah, Ollie's Books and Beads says books to buy and podcasts to listen to. That's it. Thanks to everyone for joining in and putting new ringtone. Yes, but thanks for everyone who's joined in as well and put brilliant comments up. Like, you've made me feel so much better about this film. and now I can sleep tonight. Oh, thanks, guys. See you
Thank
later.
you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.